Hey everybody, Dimitri here with Cirque Supply. I'm standing in front of our 4-piece bed system yet again, this time in black stealth with bamboo accents. We're going to dive into the details on this thing, answer some questions you guys have left us. Without further ado, let's dig in. First, let's talk about this specific unit right here. What is this? What is this setup? Well, this is actually the most common setup we ship in all of our wheel well cabinets. This is a 60-inch box. It's made for a Sprinter 144 or a Sprinter 170. As you can see, it's in our new stealth look with bamboo accents. And the reason behind this being the most common size is this fits most short and long models, whether it be the 136, 159 Promaster, the 148 Transit, or the Sprinter series. Now, the first question we get when it comes to bed systems is, why are there two choices? What are the differences? Well, this is the 4-piece. You notice 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces on this bed. The 2 outside pieces are fixed. They don't move, although you can permanently fasten them in. We include Velcro to keep them stuck on, so maybe you do want to remove and use it as a working surface. But these 2 center pieces right here do remove with these handle cutouts here. You will notice that you don't have to remove both of them. You can just remove one, make a U-shaped garage. But the idea behind this was to make a nice little modular system, whether it be rolling dirt bikes, mountain bikes through the middle, changing from a bed to a bench, or quite honestly just leaving open garage space to store whatever you need to on the road. The next question we commonly get is, why this bed system? Why did you choose to do it this way? Well, there's 1,000 different ways to mount a bed. You've probably seen those IKEA clip-in thin wall steel supports, and you've probably seen things like extrusion aluminum frames. Well, we wanted something to be functional, easy to remove, and lightweight. That's why we chose this system. So I have pulled a piece of black hex ply here with an edge stiffener to talk a little bit about the strength of this thing. We do get asked a lot, is this strong enough to support my bed? Short answer is, this will support a small family of 5, emotionally, physically, and financially. 2 of those is not true, but this definitely will hold whatever you throw at it. Keep in mind, the plywood is already rated for hundreds of pounds in this setup, and if you add edge stiffeners to all sides, it just makes things better. Now we're in the garage. As you can see, I have pulled off one of these center bed panels, and I'm going to explain to you why we made this modular, why we made it removable, and maybe some of the practical uses for this. Number one, if you're working in this space and you need something to prep food, prep your tools, you're working on a project, maybe you need to replace the blades on the drone you just smashed into the side of a cliff. This is the way to do it. More importantly, if you're utilizing these access doors properly, it's just a heck of a lot easier to get in here, change fuses, get your fire extinguisher out or your repair kit. It just makes access a whole lot easier. If you have access to the back here to get to these doors from outside the van, that's cool, but sometimes that's just not the case. You might have stuff stored behind it. In any case, opening up the bed in kind of a U shape is a non-aggressive, non-invasive way to get to what you need when you need it without having to take your entire van apart. Now that I've trapped myself inside the 4-piece bed system, I'm here to tell you the differences between the 2 and the 4 and kind of the practical reasons why you might want one over the other. Mainly, it's going to be, how often do you see yourself removing the bed? Honestly, ask yourself that question. The 2-piece is technically removable, but it is not fun or pleasant. Often requires 2 people. So the 2-piece bed system, in my opinion, is a great use when you're in a vehicle where you do not see yourself removing the bed often, but you still want the ability to remove it if you need to. The 4-piece bed system, on the other hand, is a great fit for people who see themselves getting in and out of the garage space frequently or needing to access these doors frequently. This is probably more for your adventure van type people who are getting out there in mountain bikes, who are moving cargo in and out, things like that. That would make the 4-piece a better fit. You have to remember, when taking out the 2-piece, you have to do a whole lot of lifting, tilting, sliding in and out, and you may scratch up some of your cabinetry or your wall panels. If you have overhead cabinets or soft storage bags in the back, definitely the 2-piece bed system will not be easily removable for you. So keep this in mind as you browse around, whether it be our bed system or others. That's kind of what you're going to look for, and ask yourself those hard questions before you make a decision. So for this next part, I'm going to need you to do some real soul searching and ask yourself, what the heck am I going to actually use these boxes for? Because if you're not going to put something functional in them, then they're just very beautiful paperweights that are masterfully crafted just for you. But you probably want to pick something that's useful. So I'll tell you right off the bat, almost 100% of the builds that we push out of this shop and most applications that we see with our customers is going to be power on one side, water on the other. It doesn't actually matter which side you put it on. It's going to change depending on your build, but these are designed for access. These are designed to troubleshoot, to get into your power and water system, and I'll explain a little bit kind of why and how. So these doors back here, they open, you'll notice, from the actual back of the van, the outside. If you need to access some soft goods, fire extinguisher rope, this makes it really cool, really fun, really easy. But most of the access for the actual troubleshooting and such happens with these rear access doors. Now, I have noticed a few of you out there are using this for Starlink. This is actually big enough to fit a Starlink dish in and stow it away, but a lot of you are storing your water or your exterior shower setups out here. That would be a great place to access it, whether it be a rinse kit or your own kind of exterior shower system. Now on the power side, which again can be either side, this rear access door makes it really easy to get to your fuses, so that if you blow something on the road, you can just jump back there, swap the fuse out, more importantly find out probably why the fuse blew, but at the very least it gets kind of a lot of work out of your way when it comes to troubleshooting. With our old style legacy wheel well boxes, you would have had to climb under the bed to get to everything. Don't have to do that here. If you get the 4-piece bed system especially, you can take off that bed panel and get to work, but the hope is that you don't have to. Either way, it's just another thing to look out for when you're shopping for a bed system or for a box, choosing which setup is right for you. Aside from looking really nice and being built to last, let's talk about what makes this cabinet and all of our other cabinetry special, and that's going to be hardware. Now, you can only get so much quality out of a CNC because wood varies, but where there is a little bit of variance, the hardware makes up for it. I'll start with the latches. Now, these are compression latches. You probably see them in a lot of different products, but these guys here are made to fit specifically 18mm wood, and most of the brackets that come with the compression latches are made for thin wall steel or something like that. These are made for cabinets. You'll notice that there's a set screw on here with a nut to tighten it down. Turn it clockwise to tighten your latch, loosen it, or turn it counterclockwise to add a little bit of play to that button if your latch is too tight. Once your latch is adjusted, be sure to go back and tighten that nut so that it doesn't loosen up over time, and you should be good to go. And we do have rubber bump stops on every single door to make up for any kind of loose rattling, vibrating. You shouldn't hear that with any of our cabinets. They definitely don't rattle when they leave the facility, and if they do on the road, now you know how to adjust that. Moving on to the hinges themselves, you're going to notice 3 different adjustments on this hinge. The screw towards the front of the neck is going to be the depth to push the door to the left and the right. When the door is open, it looks a little strange, but when the door is closed, this will adjust the door left to right. The screw inside of the hinge in the center is going to move the door up and down, and the screw in the back is going to be front to back. So again, if the door is closed, this will push the door in or out. All of these are set before they leave the facility, but you can go back and adjust them if for some reason your box is not square, or you just need to change it, fix it, and move it around. Now, if you need to get in here and let's say you're installing your water electrical and you don't want to work around the doors, there's an easy solution. Everything here is removable. If you look closely here, there is a plate on the back of your hinges. If you press this plate, everything opens up. To put it back, you will hook in the front and then push the back in. Once you hear the click, you are right back to business. That's how you adjust these babies and get them set for the road. Talk about securing and fastening. Just like with different bed systems, there's 1,000 ways to do this, but we chose what we think is the simplest, cheapest, and most effective way for you. Now, I will say these 2 outer pieces can be fastened permanently, either from the top with screws or from underneath. If you do fasten from inside the cabinet, make sure your fasteners are not anywhere near 1.5 inches or longer. Try to keep it at 1.25 inches. For the center pieces themselves, the Velcro strips are designed to mount to the outsides here and to the boxes. Now, it's kind of good practice to keep the actual loop side, the fuzzy side or soft side, on the boxes and the hook on the panels here. This is more than plenty to keep your bed from sliding back and forward on the road. If you decide you want something a little more robust, you can always drill through, add pins, make it permanent. May defeat the purpose of a 4-piece bed system, but it's really your show once the bed arrives. In any case, I hope you found these hints helpful. I appreciate you sticking around and watching the video. If you have any requests on other videos you want to see or in-depth looks into any of the other products, leave a comment below. We'd love to check it out. And as always, happy building.